I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
It is time for Happy Hour. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, spirits, the stories that go along with it. I'm Jamie Flanagan.
I am Matt Fox.
And we are downtown Detroit at the Detroit Shipping Company, the podcast Detroit Studios.
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
This is closed for a private event.
It is. There's like chunks and chunks of this. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
That means people are coming down and utilizing the
space.
Detroit, the spaces here at the Detroit Shipping Company. I went and I looked. There's about 75 people out on the patio.
Wow.
All socially distant.
Yes.
And doing everything exactly as Fauci said.
Yes.
Wearing
sunscreen.
I'm putting on sunscreen, and so should you.
Why? So I don't get sunburn?
Yeah, I don't know. What?
Well, you're wearing sunscreen, so
Yes.
I don't get sunburn.
Yes, I wear sunscreen, so you don't get sunburn.
Right.
Perfect.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. That's a political non sequitur nonsensicals. But, downtown Detroit is hustling and bustling. There's this cool T-shirt shop here at the Detroit Shipping Company.
Yes.
There's an artiste.
Yes.
David something or other. But it's very cool. He does very cool Detroit design and distressed designs. So if you're looking for like cool Detroit stuff, coming up after the Man Cave Happy Hour, if you're listening to things live, after we do this, I do another podcast called Detroit City of Champions, and I attempt to wear like a Detroit shirt.
I see that.
Every time.
I see that.
Every time I do a Detroit City of Champions. I try to coordinate it with the team that we're talking about, either the Lions, the Wings, the Tigers. When we get to the Detroit Sharpshooters, I don't know.
You need to go
I
to
get a Detroit Gun Club. Maybe, I don't know. Because it was a Detroit, I could get a Detroit police shirt.
You know, you could go to wearingfunny.com and
bootleg the snot out of a Detroit police shirt and put it up there. That'd actually be cool. I like that. I've actually seen that on T-shirts. The old Detroit, it was like on their door, and their cars were like a light blue, little lighter than the Super Troopers, a little lighter than the State Troopers. It had a nice square logo on it. So it was, so get one of those. I think I'll do that. But, I try wearing a Detroit shirt.
I like your shirt. Detroit City FC. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a Detroit DCFC shirt. But if you're looking for cool Detroit stuff, Detroit Shipping Company is a great place to come down to. Parties are raging, man. Genevieve's is stuffing us with Thai food today.
Oh my goodness. I've got leftovers.
So good.
I have leftovers.
My leftovers have leftovers.
Yes. I'll be eating good for the weekend. We'll say that.
Yes. So, we're here and just enjoying it. Matthew, what's new and groovy with you, man?
You know, I'm excited because things are picking up.
Yeah.
You know, work-wise, things are definitely picking up.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited that, on July 1 is when it's all supposed to open up.
Sure.
So just helping folks to understand the importance of getting strategically preparing for when everything just opens up and
because you're a banker.
Ready.
So here's an odd question for you. Let's
right.
Because today we're talking about it's the Man Cave and it's whiskey, cigars, spirits storing it along with it. So today we're talking about mixers and spirits that go along with the drinks, right? And I've been on a Manhattan kick.
As have I.
And we're gonna talk about vermouths and bitters in just a minute once we're done being non sequitus. I don't know if that's a word. It is now. I say it's like English. You say it.
Secretarial.
It's a thing.
I don't know. All right.
But here's my question. It's like because a lot of people are on the dole, right? A lot of people are getting free money and not working.
Correct.
How do you watch your money when you're getting free money?
There's still a word that you have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
It's called a budget.
Oh, okay.
And not living beyond the means by which those monies are coming from. Okay. Even though you may not be getting taxed on it, right? You still need to live within means that you are getting money from.
Right.
Right. So that budget is very important.
So it's like, I'm getting money, taking that credit card and just running like mad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then sometimes the things get away from you, and we're all human. We all do stupid things sometimes. But there's a way to recover from that. So,
Matt, should people go back to work?
Yes. Go to work
for the mere fact that our friend Tony at the Wine Garden
Oh my
in
goodness.
St. Clair Shores, Michigan. If you live in Michigan and you have somebody who needs a job or would like to work and work at a party store with pretty cool people,
Yeah.
Tony, he's dying, man. He's working 6-7 days a week and he can't get people to work for him. Genevieve down here at the Bangkok 96, and she goes,
Bangkok
she can't.
360? 96.
96.
Isn't it? Okay. I don't know why I think I'm 360.
I don't know. 360 is the coffee place.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yep.
There's so much.
There's a coffee. There's a coffee ice cream place in here.
Yeah, there's so many things here. I get confused.
But she's dying for people to work for her, right? So if you have the wherewithal,
you want to work.
People want you.
If you want to work for a ball buster, because she's an amazing ball buster at that, she'll put you to work, and she has expectations. So you have to be ready to work.
Now here's my kind of and like I said, we're downtown Detroit, and they got those pedal bars. And my kind of pedal bar just rolled by. There's no pedals on it. It's all motorized. The whole car of people had their feet up.
Just sitting back.
Those
and
are my people. They're like, I was thinking, I saw those pedal cars earlier. I'm like, well, why are you making me work? I came to hang out with you and drink beers. Yeah.
Gotta sweat that off.
So, but that pedal car, everybody had their feet up and they were just going, I love that.
Yep.
That's hilarious. That puts me in a good mood because you know what? I've been a little bitter lately.
Really? What kind of bitter are you, Jamie? Are you a sweeter bitter? Or are you a fruit bitter? What kind of a bitter are you?
You know, I didn't know there was the array of bitters that there are. There's walnut, there's cherry, there's
pear.
And there's the aromatic bitters. But the big dog in the bitter world, and they have many in all of those flavors. You can hold up to your camera. Yeah, it's Angostura, Angostura bitters. Yeah, right.
That's
and
the
so,
big dog.
How do I know how to say that?
Why do you know how to say that?
Well, because I went to the little website.
Oh, Angostura.com?
And I went to
Angostura.
Angostura. I typed pronounce Angostura, and it's like
Angostura.
And so, yeah, I cheated. It's like it's such an odd little, and I always screw it up.
You're a professional. That's why you do that.
Right before we sat down, I'm like, I'm going to look this up, and it's like, hey, Google, tell me how to say this.
Angostura.
Thank you very much.
There's another word that you're going to have to do that with for me.
Hey, computer. We are there, man.
Yeah.
Computer. Is somebody trained their Alexa to respond to computer instead of Alexa?
That was David Wright.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That was David Wright that did that. Yeah.
So I love that.
The Motor City,
because I don't like people. It irks me a little bit.
Okay.
Alexa, hey, and it's like, oh, jeepers creepers, man. But go computer, turn the degrees down 3 degrees. You know, it's like, wow, okay, that is cool. I don't know. Maybe that's just a major dork in me. I don't.
No, it's we're in that we are in that vicinity.
If we don't have flying cars by the end of summer, I'm going to be wholly disappointed.
Meet George Jetson.
I
His
totally want
boy
it.
Jamie.
But we were ranting about Angostura bitters, right? And I was all proud that I had Google help me pronounce that.
Yes.
So it's making me less bitter that I'm being successful with stuff.
Nice segue.
I was trying. It's like, hey, wait! Oh, we've wandered off track again. I'm gonna try to get us off track just one more time.
That's never happened before.
In a second. But Angostura bitters.
Yes.
And these are the orange ones. I have the orange ones because I like Manhattans.
Yes.
And old fashions. A little bit more. I lean a little towards the old fashions, and the old fashions often call for orange. So I went with the orange bitters.
Fair.
For that. But the aromatic are the staple, are the main ones. The aromatic ones are the plain, the staple ones.
That's what I have at home. Is the aromatics.
So, but we were talking about this just recently. It came up, and I said, we talked about that in a previous episode, but I think we just glanced across it, and we were talking about being bitter, and my boy Matt Fox, look at how big you're smiling. Look at the smile on
because
Matt
I just
Fox's
saw something
face.
come across the screen.
That's
here.
right. And because I was like, Matt Fox, you can't be bitter, and there's no way to be bitter about anything when the Bourbon and Blondes are in the room with us.
Hey!
Abby, Alaina, welcome to the Man Cave again.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good. Good. We're having a week. and we're going to be drinking.
So this is called a surprise. This is my surprised face. Because this was, I had no idea that the two of you would be joining this evening.
Yeah, we knew that.
Zero idea.
So look at his smile. Look at he's going to be smiling for a week. Look at him.
He's so
He's just because it's fun. You ladies are fun to hang out with, and you've done some pretty cool stuff of late. Bourbon and Blondes, you did this tasting, and we'll get back to the bitters and the story of the label on the bitters in just a second. But you guys did a tasting, and you posted a picture on Facebook, and there was a table. I think it was like probably 2 8-foot tables pushed together, and it was filled with bottles. And you were like, which one? How many?
Over 50. I think I counted 53 or 56. I don't even remember.
We probably tasted about
All of them?
47 of them.
That was going to be my question because you're like, which one? And I was like, yes. And I might even be talking about the bourbon. But so you do a tasting like that, right? And you have 57 choices, right? Mm-hmm. How do you, because you can't really reasonably do them all and really enjoy them. I mean, how do you pick? How do you guide people?
Yeah, you probably won't remember some of it, most of it.
How do you guide people when you're doing something like that? How do you guide them into what to do and when to do it?
It's like 50-50, right? So half the people who participate in those, like they are coming for a reason. And they know there are going to be pours that they haven't had and that they want to have. So that's usually pretty self-guided. And then we had a lot of people at the event are like, well, I usually drink this, or I'm used to having this. And, you just kind of have to like, okay, well, what do you like about that? What do you enjoy about that pour? And then kind of say, okay, jump here, try this.
Yeah,
or avoid that.
Yeah, we had it was like 50 or 60 attendees. And at that point, I mean, there was staff goes there with 5 of us. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of covering our block, our block, our X amount, maybe like 10 bottles or something. And so a lot of people we noticed came with somebody else and they weren't really bourbon enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. So kind of just like to Abby's point, like, what do you usually like? What do you usually drink? And we kind of give our preferences for that.
So what was something there you had on the table that you never had before?
Oh, it was the Tullamore Dew aged in rum casks for me.
That was good.
Wow.
You like that one?
I'm so sorry I missed that. I'm so sorry I missed that picture.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah. It was fantastic. It was wonderful. So, all right, the Tullamore Dew. I like the Irish whiskeys.
Yes.
And I like Tullamore Dew. I bought that bottle. I might not buy a second.
Well, you have to buy it to know, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. I used it as a mixer after that. So, but and again, everybody has their own taste. It's it's their own thing. So
I'm still over here just like in shock.
He's all giggly and smiley. I love Matt
here.
Fox. I tell you what. So what else you guys got cooking? Right, you got some new stuff on the horizon, right? Your next season is dropping.
Yeah, it's coming out this weekend, mainly because I'm very behind on editing, but it's coming.
I knew it either had just dropped or it was on the way. So should have, and it's on the way. All right. Fair play.
Yeah, this weekend, and we've got some pretty phenomenal guests lined up, so we're very excited.
Very cool.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it yet, but it's coming out in the next few days. We're going to start working on a single barrel club here in St. Louis with events associated with it, so that's going to be pretty exciting.
That is exciting.
So is there one particular party store? Because every state and all the liquor commissions are different. In Michigan, you have to be connected with a retailer.
Yeah.
In order to do it. So like if Matt and I, because there are like some other bourbon podcasts and things that do their barrel picks. Mm-hmm. Their own barrel picks. Yeah.
Right.
And depending on the state and where they are and how well funded they are, a lot of times but in Michigan you have to work with a retailer. Is that how it works for you guys?
Most of the time, yes. We have been very fortunate to find a partnership with a company called STL Barkeep. So they're essentially alcohol retail, but they do mainly events. So we've partnered with them. They've been doing a lot of their own single barrels, and then later this year we've got our own like Bourbon and Blondes barrels coming out.
I'm excited. I want to make a trip to St. Louis and grab one of those.
Right.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Come up there and drop it off for you guys.
yeah, because you guys were in town, and I was like, you were posting pictures like after the fact, and I was like, get your butts over here, and you're like, oh, we were here 3 weeks ago, dude.
Yeah. As she said,
We're like, we were there for 12 hours 3 weeks ago. I'm like, oh, okay.
Literally, that's what it was.
All right, next time.
You guys are based in, what city are you based in?
Troy,
Troy.
Detroit, downtown Detroit, everywhere, and all points between.
Yeah. we could be anywhere within 1/2 hour.
Yeah. Well, they were in Ann Arbor, so that's Ann Arbor is about 45 an hour, depending on.
Yeah, we'll have to come up.
But bitters, what do you guys know about bitters and the Angostura? What do you got? Do you know? Are you familiar with them at all? Because we're diving into why the label's so kooky. There's a story we've talked about it. I'll read the little story from the article here in a second. But do you know anything about bitters?
Yeah, we enjoy them in our cocktails.
Me too.
Best answer ever.
Me too.
I mean, like, not a lot, but you know.
Yeah, no, the Angostura bitters, because this comes back. It dates way back, and it's kind of a funny story. So it's synonymous, and it's the lead dog when it comes to bitter. Angostura is the lead dog when it comes to cocktail bitters. It's a mainstay on the shelves for bartenders for years and years. It's been around since 1824.
Really?
Yeah, 1824 is when they launched the brand. Old Fashions, Manhattans. The main, and then there's other cocktails that I can't pronounce because they're like French.
See, I'm curious to know that the person that invented the Angostura bitters, how did they come up with the recipe? That's what I wanted.
Well, here's the thing, right? The name is recognizable, but there's mystery surrounding the brand and the recipe.
Is it
really?
Did Angus do it?
No, there's no Angus.
All right.
You kind of wish there was, actually. But it's a family secret. Only 5 people living. There's only 5 living people that know the recipe.
Really?
And they've agreed to keep it secret, and they'll pass it on when the time comes. So the contents inside are a mystery. But the other thing that confounds drink lovers is why this kooky neck. People that watching on the line, if you ever seen the bitters bottles, they got the labels like too big for the bottle, right? So what's that all about? So the oversized,
on purpose, isn't it?
The oversized label, no, total screw up. Is actually what it was. It was a mistake.
It really was, yeah.
So the brand's founder, Dr. Jonathan Siegert, he died in 1870, and he passed the business along to his 3 idiot sons. The article doesn't say that, but I kind of added
just
that.
Adding the color there, are you? All right.
Carlos, Luis, and Alfredo. So the Siegert brothers decided they wanted to, kind of do a rebranding and a launch, and so they were going to enter this competition and, get their name out there. And so one brother was designing the bottle, and the other brother was designing the label. And they didn't talk to each other.
That checks out.
Yep, siblings. They're the worst.
And so they got together like, the labels are coming in. Where are the bottles? They're right here. They're like, dude, those bottles are small. He's like, well, that's what we were talking about. He's like, well, they're too small because our labels are going to be too big. And there was no time to redo it.
Right.
So they said, screw it. And they put the oversized label on it and entered the contest. They get into that contest.
They win.
They lose.
Did they lose? Okay. I was gonna say, that's just not very appealing to the eye.
No. But the judge said, the liquid didn't win because it was a taste for the liquid. It wasn't a design.
I thought it was a design. Okay.
No. And so it was like for the spirits. And then, but the judge was like, keep that bottle. It's memorable.
Yeah.
And so they did. And so hence,
it's memorable, but what's inside sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get it out first.
Yeah. So a lot of other brands have taken to it. There's the Forest brand, the Fee Brothers, San Francisco Bitter Collections, and they all have the oversized bottles, oversized labels on their bottles as well, because customers have come to expect when I'm going shopping for bitters, it's going to have that kooky little bottles. Right. And so if I'm buying a bitters, it's got to have that kooky little label. Otherwise, it's not going to be right.
Right.
So they've kind of set the trend with that with the 3 idiot brothers. Back in 1870.
That's great.
I like it.
That's great.
So there you go. So it's an integral part of your cocktails, of your old fashioned and your Manhattan. Ladies, I want to test you here. What do you put in a Manhattan?
Manhattan.
I think she was looking. I think she was looking at her liquor at her bar for a moment there.
Sweet vermouth.
Yep.
Whiskey.
Yep.
And four bitters.
Yep, that's it. Yep. So it's the vermouth, right? So we were talking today. I said we were going to talk about mixers and the sweet vermouth that goes with it. Now I was making. I'm all like, oh, look at me, I'm so cool. I'm making Manhattans at home after school, and I'm going to sit on the deck and look. I'm posting pictures because I'm interesting. And I got
really, really fancy.
I get yelled at. Because my vermouth game sucked.
Oh yeah,
You got to have the good vermouth, otherwise it just tastes awful.
yeah.
See,
and I did not see, and this is the reason behind the Man Cave Happy Hour. Matt and I are here to learn and find out things. And so I had because it's what was in. I'm at Kroger, our local grocery chain, buying my booze and buying some vermouth to go with it, and they had one vermouth on the shelf. And it was the Gallo. Oh, look at her shaking the head. No, don't be buying your vermouth at the grocery store. That is your first mistake.
I'm just picky. I'm very weird about my vermouth, so I'm very picky about what vermouth goes in my Manhattan. Because if it's not one type of vermouth, I'm out.
Yeah, and the same with like liqueurs too. Like if it's just, I know the cheaper liqueurs usually have like a lot of sugar in them and like are very syrupy, and so sometimes you can like overcompensate by just putting more alcohol in, which I'm not totally mad about, but
it's fair.
Exactly. So I got yelled at. Our friend Tony from the Wine Garden in St. Clair Shores. He's our mentor, and he's like, Jamie. He goes, you got to get in here. I need to fix you.
No, he didn't say that. He said no.
Stop that. You're ruining it. So I went in and I talked to Tony, and he and I talked vermouths, and he said he goes, this is your next step. This is where you got to go next. He goes, and you'll enjoy it. But what he prompted me to do, he said, you take this home. He goes and pour them straight and try them and see what they taste like, because of the cheaper vermouths, some of them aren't even, they're synthetics. They're not even made from grapes. I don't believe that's the case with the Gallo. I believe the Gallo is actually grapes, but there's other ones, other inexpensive ones that are synthetic, and they will, like you said, it's going to ruin your cocktail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your go-to? Abby, you because you're the first one to speak up. What's your go-to on the vermouth?
I'm a big fan of the Carpano Antica sweet vermouth. That's usually like I'm not a Manhattan kind of person, but if I do get that one, it has to be that sweet vermouth. Because the other ones just make it taste like licorice, and that's just like not my style.
Sure. So we picked up what is that? The Doolin, Matt? What do I got that in front of me there?
That was good.
No, yeah. You have the Dolan, the Rouge Dolan, and of course the other one,
the Gallo. Oh, yeah. So Matt looked up a little bit about the Dolan distillery. Is it a distillery or winery? It's a winery, because this is a vine based.
Dolan is actually the very last independent company still producing.
All right, I'm going to pour. Drinks of these, and tell me about Dolan.
Yeah, so Dolan, and I have a little bit of history here, but the history of the Dolan goes all the way back to I think it was 1932. No, 1815. I'm sorry, all the way back to 1815. Joseph Chavaze, I think that's how I pronounced it, right? Chavaze first created the distillery in the region itself, and it's in the Francis Savoy region is where the Dolan vermouth is created. And then it was sold in 1932. But here's the thing. It's the last – Jamie's going to be pouring drinks. I'm kind of excited. It's still the last independent company.
Join you.
Yeah, still producing its own vermouth at this point in time. So help me understand what you know about, vermouth – Manhattans, Negronis. There's a lot of talk about Negronis right now with vermouth and having vermouth in a Negroni. What is and again, novice, self-proclaimed. What is a Negroni? What goes in a Negroni itself?
Gin, isn't it?
I know Campari.
Okay.
Gin, vermouth, Campari.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
we'll say this.
All right.
My knowledge of Negronis extends as far as Parsons Chicken in Chicago.
Okay.
Because we have frozen Negronis, and it is one of the very few gin drinks that I will have.
And Abby's you're not a huge gin drinker.
It has to be like the right kind of blend for me.
No, we've talked about gin in the past, and we actually had on our 100th. We had we had the Heikler Castle gin with Mr. Adam von Gutkin on the line with us.
Try that. We need to find it in St. Louis for sure.
It is, and I have never been a big gin guy until I tried that.
Oh,
and
totally, yeah.
Okay.
And I would always put gin tonic. No, I was drinking the gin straight. No ice, no nothing. It was so good.
What? That's good stuff.
Yes, it was, and it still is.
All right, so Matt, what you have there, the frosted one, is going to be the Doolin.
Okay.
And the other one is the Gallo.
The Gallo, okay.
And so what Tony challenged me at the Wine Garden.
Yes.
It's to try them both straight, because he said that people, more European folks will take the vermouth, the quality, nice vermouths, and just pour them over ice and enjoy them just by themselves as an aperitif.
Yeah.
I have no idea what an aperitif is. I'm amazed.
It's like a digestif. It's like
an after dinner sip.
Yeah.
Okay, fair bit.
Okay. It's like after a nice Italian dinner, you sit down with a little.
It's like a grappa almost.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm smelling these. Matt, what are you smelling out of giving these both a whiff before you taste it?
All right. So the Gallo is in the clear one, right?
Correct.
All right. So the Gallo, it's not very strong. It doesn't have a really strong nose on it.
It actually sounds a little sour to me compared to
the Dolan's got a more of a fruity type smell to it on the nose.
Yeah.
So
this is a little more sour, and this is the other one's a little more wine like.
Correct.
Is what I'm getting on these.
Yeah, it's still I still like the smell. Don't get me wrong.
All right, I don't know which one to taste first.
Do the Gallo first.
I'm gonna do the Gallo first
because might as well go cheap first and then bring on the good stuff.
Yeah, you got to start on the low end and work your way up.
Because these come in at like 16% alcohol.
16%, 16.5. Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm getting grape. I'm getting a lot of grape juice out of that.
Grape, but there's a sour grape.
Very, yeah.
Yep. So it's a little. Yep.
People were talking about little chocolate notes and what have you. I'm not getting any chocolate out of this at all.
There's other flavors in there, yeah. It's more than just grape. It's a little sour, and there's a little more.
I
than
just want to add some bourbon to it. Can I do that?
I know. Well, I want to mix. Because we're going to mix two cocktails. We're going to mix two batches of Manhattans here. One with the Gallo and one with the Dolan. We're going to be trash.
I love that. Please tell me you're Ubering home.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Yeah, no, I'm making small ones, and we're splitting them.
It's a school night after all, Jamie.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
I'm almost done with.
Lena just went and raided her cabinet so we can be sipping along with y'all.
Oh my God, I love it. I love
Thank you.
it.
So
we already have cocktails, but we'll catch up with the rest.
Yeah, we're not drinking alone, Jamie.
All right.
Yeah, this is the vermouth I have. I don't even know.
What is that?
Bravada.
Bravada, you said?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, and that's that Apper whatever. People are pouring that in Miller Lights.
Oh, the vermouth or the Aperol?
The thing with the A. The what is it?
Aperol?
Aperol, yeah. Yeah, that's like a big trend now in Detroit here, is people are pouring that in like your Bud Lights.
In your beer?
Yeah.
Really?
A shot of it in your bottle of beer.
She had that in.
That is what I had at Hazel's in Birmingham. Oh my God.
See?
I'm like, that's terrible. And I loved it.
You didn't like it?
No, I did. It was amazing.
Oh, okay, fair play.
We'll try this. No, this Bravada is a sweet vermouth, so we'll try sweet vermouth with you. I actually don't like vermouth, so this is the only thing I had downstairs.
That's fair. Bravada with a B?
No, R-I-V-A-T-A.
Rivada. Okay.
Rivada.
I'm trying to see if I can't find anything on
So
that.
yeah, I mean, I remember growing up and there being a bottle of vermouth in my house, and it was there for 16 years. And my parents never. Elena's making a scrunchy face.
Yeah,
that's like no go. That's why it's a mixer.
But only for a very shorter period, not 16 years.
Yeah. No. That bottle. It's like, so my parents had it, and never utilized it, right?
Yeah,
and the same thing. There was a bottle of bitters in my house, and they never utilized it. My dad was just a beer guy. He would drink a beer. He would drink scotch on the rocks, and that was it. So he kept it simple.
Okay.
J&B Scotch, right?
Yeah.
We were a couple episodes back. I was down in Florida recently, and my mom was like, "You got to clear out my mom's 90. She's not throwing any more parties," and so she's like, help me clean out these shelves. There's all this liquor, and then there was like some really old wines. And we were going through expired, and we were throwing things out, and then. But there was a couple of bottles of booze. There was some Jack Daniels, and then there was a bottle of J&B Scotch. And my dad would always drink J&B Scotch, and so that was one of the last bottles of J&B Scotch my dad bought.
And you shared that with me.
And I brought it home, and I shared it with Matt the other day.
Yes.
So anyhow,
I love that. That's so cute. Alaina just made a comment about the vermouth we have.
Yeah, I was like, it smells like old wine.
yeah.
See, that's the thing. Vermouth
That
is
Gallo
yeah.
smells a little, like I said, a little sour. Like it's almost, but it's not. It's a fresher bottle.
Not, I just sipped it a little bit. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. You know,
See,
what is that taste that you get with old wine? Like you go to a restaurant, you get wine, and it
turned a little.
Yeah, it turned. It's like soury and fermented almost.
All right.
It's not that bad.
A little oxidized.
So I just tasted the Dolan,
As did I. What was your impression?
and I have never tasted vermouth all by itself.
Yes.
I can see myself sipping on this.
Pour this
over
rocks.
over the rocks, and just sip on it.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure. This is it's very sweet. It's very light.
Yeah,
And which one are you sipping on?
that's the Dolan.
Dolan.
Rouge. The
Yeah.
Dolan Rouge.
Okay.
I actually said that I don't like vermouth, but I think I haven't tried it alone in a very long. Well, and in all fairness, I think I tried Martini Rossi, and I tried it like martini side of things a very long time ago, and I don't like dry vermouth, but this actually isn't that bad.
Yeah.
It's almost there's almost a sweet, almost butter in it for me on this particular one. I like that. James from the Wow That's Crazy podcast chimed in, and so did Wayne. Thanks, guys, coming by.
Wow,
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, Wayne said that's where vinegar comes from.
Yeah. That's I think that bottle of Gallo is going to sit on my shelf till it turns to vinegar now.
But a lot of folks will use the Dolan actually for cooking.
Oh, okay.
They'll actually use that in their cooking recipes.
Sure.
Right. A little dip here and a big dip here. Right.
Dan Aykroyd doing Julia Childs.
You got
Favorite
it.
bit. All right. So let's make a Manhattan. Let's because I want to do a batch with each and see how it turns out after doing a batch.
I don't want to
with
touch
each one.
the. I have a bottle of Gallo at home.
Right,
if you
right.
want it.
We're gonna auction that off at the next Man Cave event.
Slightly used.
That doesn't sound right. Would you like my slightly used alcohol?
You don't want anything slightly used from the Man Cave. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, no. No, thank you.
All right, so.
That'd be a no.
All right, what am I doing?
You're getting ice first, right? Yeah. So when you make a Manhattan, but the both of you, how do you make your Manhattan? Do you do bitters first, or do you mix it first and then pour it into your glass? Walk me through how you make your Manhattan.
You put I think I would put the whiskey, the vermouth, and then in the bitters, and I'd probably stir it all together.
And then pour it over ice on top of that?
Yeah. Or if you don't have a strainer, I guess.
Yeah,
I've got a long straw, so sometimes we just do it in the cup.
Just stir it around a little bit. Yeah, so you get in the back view. Jamie's making drinks right here.
No, they're got that. I turned that camera on.
Oh, you turned that camera on. Look at that.
They can watch me.
Oh,
the magic is it happens.
I know it's been on my to-do to get one of a really fancy crystal glassware and a strainer.
Found some on Amazon.
Okay, need to get the link because I just bought a second bar. A few.
Yeah, this is where we're at, and we're upgrading our bar shelves and doubling them. So,
gotta have storage somehow.
So Jamie is using bullet bourbon for the Manhattan that he's pouring right now.
I just wanted something middle of the road, just simple. It's not going to be too overwhelming, so we can let the vermouth, join the party.
Right. Do you? I'm sure you both know the history of bullet bourbon. At all?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, I know.
how the one of the founder of Bullet Bourbon, he disappeared.
What?
We don't know this part of it.
No, it was like the gentleman that owns Bullet Bourbon now. I think it was his great grandfather, and he disappeared under some very odd circumstances. So the recipe was almost lost way back in the day, back in the cowboy days, because he was on a coach and disappeared, and the recipe almost disappeared with him.
Huh. Well, that seems odd.
It is odd, and I when we did Bullet before, I read that, and I was thoroughly surprised that they were able to salvage the recipe of Bullet Bourbon itself.
Seems like they hired the Ghostbusters for this. And the guy disappeared, and they couldn't find the recipe.
Jamie's an amazing bartender. See, he's already got two made. He's quick. So how long does it take you to make a Manhattan? Because it takes me forever. I'm like that guy that's pouring things in. So how many ounces here? How many ounces there? How long does it take you to make a drink, a Manhattan?
Oh God, like,
Not that long.
No, like
Yeah,
that.
we make cocktails often.
All right.
I mean, I think stirring. Stirring it. What are you supposed to
60
stir
or
for?
90 seconds or something.
Is it?
I don't know.
I thought it was like
I think it depends.
15 to 30 seconds. I'm never patient enough to count. But yeah,
You stir it till you're happy.
yeah.
See, I'm super slow, so I'm just stirring. And I'm like, okay, that looks good. I guess
20 stirs.
20 stirs. Good.
Okay.
Are we doing the Luxardos as well?
Yeah.
All right.
I would 100% lose track of stirs.
Yeah.
I'd be like 18, 26, 13. I would not be able to count.
You hear that, right?
There you go. Spin those out.
This is a cherry.
All right. Luxardo cherry.
Yeah, we had never used because we knew we were doing bitters and mixers today. We have never used the tiki bitters before, and it was it was an interesting experience. I looked at a recipe for tiki bitters.
Okay.
It's
It tasted like chocolate. It was very strange.
it was supposed to do Grand Mar instead of Contra. Well, no, I ended up using the coffee liqueur instead of the Contra. And I think we tried the bitters by themselves, and I was expecting
Like cinnamon chocolate.
Yeah, I was expecting that's like a coconutty floral, and it was.
You should have if you had read the label.
Oh, cinnamon and allspice. Well, that makes sense. That's a taste to read.
If you had read the label.
Well, I hadn't read it either. I'm like, why does this cocktail taste like chocolate? Fix it. I don't want it.
I know. I was like, it's not the best thing I've made. And she's like, all right, we'll put more alcohol in it. I was like, that's usually the fix.
There's the answer. Put more alcohol in it. All right, so we got two Manhattans made. One with the Gallo.
Which would be this glass?
In the stripy glass.
Yep.
And then in the Mod Squad glass, we got the
Mod Squad.
We got the Duelant. All right, so are you getting a different nose on them? Did you ladies pour a cocktail?
Yeah, we're doing our tiki bitters one first.
Yeah,
Tiki,
so it's
tiki
dry.
bitters?
Yep.
Yeah,
So that's why it tastes like chocolate. Fix this.
Nice.
Yes. We did, what was it, the minor case? Yeah, we did minor case, rye.
And the J. Rieger Cafe Amaro.
Yeah, J.
Wow.
Rieger Cafe tomorrow.
I'm going to
Local
Missouri.
City.
It's a busy drink, but it's good.
Yeah, and the tiki bitters, what else did I put? Oh, pineapple juice,
Lemon.
and lemon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm just like subject to suggestion,
Yes, you
but
are.
I smell a different nose on these two.
I'm getting more orange out of the Gallo.
Oh, you know why that is?
No.
Because I didn't put bitters in the second one.
That will do it.
Hey, my nose is working.
Look, making cocktails can get very complicated if you're not careful.
Yep. So how much bitters do you put in yours? Because our good friend Tara, she actually overdoes a little bit. She puts a couple extra spritzes of the bitters in hers. So what are you, 3 or 4 shakes, or are you 7 or 8?
Mine's mood driven, but I love a good bitter forward cocktail.
So do I. It depends on the bitter, as we just learned. The tiki won't be putting as much of those in, but when I put like peach bitters, cherry bitters, Angostura, Pichards, I like a little bit like 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was one of the things.
Yeah, well, most recipe call for 3 dashes, and Tara usually goes 5 or 6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that feels right.
yeah.
And I usually go about 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And I went 4 on these.
Yes. All right, so
Right.
the Gallo Manhattan,
Yeah.
it's tasty. It tastes like a Manhattan.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you like about it?
It's kind of refreshing. The Manhattan for me is a refreshing type cocktail.
Okay.
For me, that's just me, and I'll sit down with a Manhattan at any point in time. I have to be careful with them though, because they'll get away from me. Because next thing you know, you're at home, you're 3 or 4 Manhattans in, and the world starts to spin, right? And then
3 or 4.
Things are not.
but you're at home, right?
But just to me on the nose, the other one, the Doolin smells fresher.
Oh, fresher. What do you mean? Just like more enjoyable or more like less stale grapey?
I think the stale comes through on the pour. Yeah. I think it does.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it smells fresher and it tastes cleaner. It's a crisper taste.
You're not wrong. You are not wrong. In that.
I know. Marry me.
No.
You're doing great.
Too soon. All right, fair play. Yeah. As I brought a dump glass, and I was like Matt's like, oh, should I go down and get some plastic cups? I'm like, no, I brought glassware into the studio to do this because it's just better when you do it in glass. You know, doing it in plastic, it's like, it's like kissing your sister. Why? What's the point? So it's like, but I brought a dump glass, and Matt's like, dump? He goes, when do you ever dump a cocktail? I'm like, yeah, right. What was I? Actually, you're right. What was I? I don't dump cocktails.
This is not like a San Francisco Awards tasting
Wine
event.
tasting.
It's
We have a rule in this house, and by this house I mean Elena's or mine. We do not waste alcohol.
Mm-mm.
So you gotta do it right, or you drink it anyway.
That's why I only made 2, but I halved them both for us. So
These are still healthy pours.
it's like 2. It's like
Those are healthy pours.
Nice. You just need to, yeah.
You're definitely. If you had a bad week, you won't in another hour. So,
but here's the thing, right? How is a shot glass like 2 ounces or 1? That's 2 ounces. A shot glass is like 2 ounces.
And usually,
yeah, it depends on the
That's 2
shot glass. That's about 2 ounces. Have you ever seen the trick when they like flip it over, like, and then it all?
No, what
Okay.
are you talking about?
I think I watched too many TikToks.
What I use for mixing the cocktails is because the shaker. Matt, hold up the shaker and the little cap, right? The little cap for the shaker is down there somewhere, and it's like that's like a 1 ounce. It's like half of a shot glass. So I use that when I make my drinks. So I did usually a Manhattan is 2 to 1. So it's 2 of the bourbon, 1 of the vermouth, and then so it's like. Yeah, so I do two shots of that and then 1 shot of the vermouth because it's like 2 to 1, and so I use that as my measure.
Really?
Even when I'm not using the shaker, that's on the sink, so I just always use it.
Because you're crafty. You're always down. You're
so this
crafty.
is only what 6 ounces?
MacGyver
6 ounces
craft
total.
world.
Yeah, that's not. It's about 6 ounces apiece. It's not
3 ounces apiece.
3 ounces apiece.
Mhm.
Oh, well, that's just my eyesight.
Yeah,
It looks like
and
so.
ice. There's ice in there.
All right.
Doon 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 doon. No,
Stop
it's
it.
totally different.
Stop that.
It's doon 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 doon. So it's different. All right, sorry. It's we're 80s, 90s kids, and that's been a lie.
I mean, so are we.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
okay.
fair play. All right. So I love Vanilla Ice trying to defend that shit. No, mine's totally different.
I know like the first 30 words of that song.
All right. Yeah. Don't get me started. Because I am a white boy.
Stop.
Yeah, we won't pull out any
And
journey or
listen.
anything. It's like we'll save that to the end.
Yeah.
We'll save that.
And I am a white boy, and I will confess I actually owned the cassette. That's how old I am because I owned the cassette.
Like a single?
The cassette. No, the cassette. The
The
entire
whole
damn album.
You had the album.
And I was
You were
blurring,
committed.
I was blurring that shit down in Virginia. And at one point in Virginia, I kind of looked at it.
Was there more than one song on
No,
it?
there was, unfortunately. And I kind of looked around, and people were kind of looking at me. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. And I haven't really listened to the song since, but I still remember every freaking word to that damn song.
That will do it.
There you go.
You ever got like a cassette stuck in your cassette player and then it won't come out, and then that's like that's what you watch, like listen to.
Back in my day.
Oh my God! What were you stuck on?
I had a LeBaron convertible who had a cassette player, but we took it out and put a CD player into it. And I think Beastie Boys got stuck. So I can sing everything of Brass Monkey for you if you want to save that for later on in the evening.
But that's okay. It's the Beastie Boys.
Yeah, that's acceptable.
Fine.
Right. It is a good way to jam out.
It wasn't like your Ricky Martin greatest hits or something.
Dun 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 dun.
That, and so in my convertible there was 3 CDs. It was Red Hot Chili Peppers, which, by the way, great show. I finally got to go see them 5 or 6 years ago in Iowa. I was like randomly at a work event in Iowa, and I thought I hyped everybody up. Like, I was with a bunch of guys. I worked with like 10 men that were 20 to 30 years older than me. And I was like, I got them hyped up. I was like, we're going to go to a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert, and we're going to make work pay for it. Woo! And then I got to the bar. They were like, I'm good. So I went by myself. I was like, fuck it. I'm going. So I had a great time.
Anthony and Flea, they put on a good show.
That's it, man. All right, I'm going to name drop Small World
Go for
like
it.
crazy. So Red Hot Chili Peppers, Chad Smith.
Yes.
Right, so Chad Smith,
the drummer,
Yes, he came from Detroit, so he came through Detroit. He was here, and he was in a band called Toby Red for years and years. And it's so weird. You guys bring up Chili Peppers because we see him. I don't know him. It's when I talk to him, I have to explain to him who I am. Mm-hmm. Now my wife, she knows Chad really well. Anyway. And like all the guys that I hang out with, they were all in a band that used to open for Chad. I'm like, yeah, I hung out with the Penguin guys. He's like, oh my God, cool, good to see you. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he'll remember me, but I have to explain who I am to him. And then he goes, oh yeah, good to see you. But so anyway, so I teach high school, and one of my kids was a drummer. All right, he's been drumming since he was like 3. He's like a phenom. He's now on tour with Ted Nugent. He's Ted Nugent's drummer. And Ted Nugent isn't playing right now because Ted Nugent is about 97 years old. No, he's not. He's like 70. Ted Nugent's like 70.
Yeah, with COVID.
Yeah, and he got COVID. Yeah.
Oh no! I remember seeing that.
Yeah. But anyway, so he's kind of like not on the road. So this summer, Jason, my kid, he's touring with Sponge. The band from
with
the
Vinny?
90s. Yeah. So he's touring. They got like 10 dates, not a ton of dates, but he's playing with Sponge, and he's got another one. He didn't tell me what it is yet. He's like, oh, I got another, but he can't say because it's the contract and the schedule isn't out yet. Right. So he's going to be with another band. He's played with Mitch Ryder too. Whenever Mitch Ryder comes, he plays with Mitch Ryder
with the blue dress. Devil with the blue dress on.
So anyway, name dropping, but the connection between Jason and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Chad was in a band here in Detroit called Toby Red.
Right.
And Toby Red, I'm a total junkie for the Toby Red. And Jason and his dad have a little quasi record label, and they re-release like these Detroit releases. And the band Sweet, they did Sweet's record. They re-released that, and they were releasing Toby Red's In the Light. And Jason sent me a link to the files today to listen to it.
Oh,
and I
was like, happened today.
Today, yeah.
Wow,
So I was like blowing up my car radio on the way here, just because I was listening to Chad's former band. Anyway, all right. Sorry, name dropping, Small World. If Sponge comes to town this summer, you guys, it's might just go, hey, Jason. I'll get you guys hooked up with Sponge. You don't want to be hooked up with Sponge.
No, that was off of my concert list, actually. Yeah. So
Rose Sponge?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, fair play. Because I can make that. We had Vinny. Vinny was on the Man Cave with us before.
Wow, that was so perfect.
Wow.
I was like, really? You want to hear them?
It got really hot in here all of a sudden.
No, I thought she was like, I didn't know you're goofing because I was like.
In all honesty, I was just telling the story the other day. I was like, I go to music festivals now, like I'm like that. The Pinterest chick on the Coachella festival is who I am essentially, who I identify with. Right. But my parents always would tell us. My parents huge concert. Like, actually, was really, really lucky growing up. So my brother was into electronic music, like 90s electronic,
like Wink and all that fun stuff. Yes.
Yeah,
Chemical
and then
Brothers, Prodigy. Yeah.
Yep. And my sister was into more like Alanis Morissette and the, like Jewel, the feel good, sad, cry, watching puppy
The
commercials.
emotional
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that ironic?
See what you did there.
Well done, well done.
And then my dad was more into Pink Floyd and Journey, and my mom was super into like BB. My dad and mom both liked like the rock and also like jazz, a lot of BB King and all that. So I went. I mean, as a child, went to the first like Point Fest which Beastie Boys was at, and I mean, we went to like BB King, Yanni. I think I may have gone to like a Pink Floyd concert before. I mean, like.
Daddy, what's that smell?
And she's like, you were the kid on the lawn. She's like, you're 2 years old, like barely able to, you're walking around, barely talk. And I'm like dancing on the lawn like a hippie. So it stuck. Some things do not change from childhood.
Frater Maley's checking in. There you go. So
Father Flanagan.
Yeah,
yes.
that's it. Yeah. That's it. But you mentioned Alanis Morissette. She was supposed to have a tour with Garbage and Liz Phair.
Yes.
That's amazing.
I would totally go to that.
It's rescheduled, so they're still coming. It's like Liz Phair. I've had a crush on Liz Phair, Exile in Guyville. Since then, man, forget about it.
Since the announcement in Michigan, July 1 is when the world is supposed to open up for
right.
Michigan.
I'm dying for concerts.
There's so many events, so many concert events that are happening, being introduced to everybody, and everyone's going to go broke over the summertime because they're going to so many concerts.
Bring it on.
So I just went to a festival in Tampa that I'll have to see how many people were there. But
a lot.
It was a lot, like not a small amount.
A lot.
Let me see what it says. But yeah, it was wild being back around people again, but it was great. Like I actually was a little like embarrassed maybe because I didn't want to tell people like that I was going to a festival.
Do you have like a little COVID shame?
Yeah, COVID shame for sure. Like I didn't want people to know. They're like, "Oh, what are you going to Tampa for?" I was like, "Oh, for like a show."
It's not a music festival where hundreds of thousands of people are going to be watching.
Yeah, it's like 50,000 of my non-closest friends.
She's going to Burning Man. She's got the Thor helmet on with the antlers. She's going.
The lights, the glitter, the everything.
Oh yeah. I had so much glitter in my hair that when I went to my hairdresser a week later, she goes,
"What is this?"
She goes, "What is in your? Why do you have glitter in your hair?" And I was like,
"What had happened was,
there's a thing.
I went to a festival.
Funny thing happened on the way to the concert." I stole this package off of a porch. It was a glitter bomb. I don't know.
All right. So, one of your most memorable concert-going experiences. We all have stories. Ooh. What is one of your most memorable concert-going experiences, festival experience?
Oh,
ladies
for me,
yes.
This is sort of embarrassing to admit, but it was in college, and it was Jason Mraz. Which is, he was like semi-popular for a while.
I think he still makes music.
Does he? Couldn't tell you.
Didn't he date Taylor Swift at one point in time?
Yeah. Him or John Mayer.
John Mayer. Yeah.
Who
sorry.
didn't? Yeah. But
yeah, right.
Was in town, and I was at Mizzou, so I was Columbia, Missouri, and we were walking to his concert, and the concert hall in Columbia, Missouri is probably like 5,000 people. It's not very large. And so we're walking down the street, and we pass a Starbucks, and this guy's just sitting in front of Starbucks on the sidewalk. And I'm like, oh, my God, I want a picture. Sit on his lap, totally uninvited, and pop down for a photo. And then I get very embarrassed after the photo, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So I, get up and run away.
Okay.
Cue, 2 hours later, he gets on stage, and I'm wearing, white and bright turquoise. I stick out in a crowd. And so he starts playing this song, and all of a sudden I just like stick my hand in the air and I wave at him.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's gonna notice. This guy waves back in the middle of a song, and I'm like, what?
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Like, it wasn't that great. He's not that awesome. Like, I'm sure he's still a fantastic musician, but I was like, this is cool.
Abby, I love that.
That's
I love
great. Thank you for sharing.
And then I went back to being an accountant.
Right, back to reality.
All right. Business attire. Here we go.
I love that. Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to beat that story, but
anything could be that story.
I've gone to so many concerts and shows I can't even begin to express, like, which I can tell from different, parts of what I enjoy. So I do remember when I was a kid, because my parents used to take me to like Point Fest and what was the other one that was like punk rock that are
Lollapalooza?
I've been to Lollapalooza, which was absolutely...
No, I think it was local, yeah?
Yeah. Oh,
St. Louis local?
It may have been. Point Fest and what was the other? Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
So, yeah, no, I've been to Lollapalooza. That was just a bunch of 18-year-olds on drugs in Chicago, and they were like out, like about to die in like 90 degrees Chicago weather in August. It was absolutely terrible.
I was like, your tolerance before you do that, kids.
I was like, never again.
This is your brain. This is your.
But no, I don't even know how old I was, but we got close. Even as a child, I wanted to get close to the stage. So this has not changed. Although the older I get, the more I'm like, too many people. It's very claustrophobic. I may have to pee soon, so I can't get too close to the stage.
Start wearing a
I
diaper.
have to pee soon. I'm in the same state, actually.
I don't know how people get like on. So like I go to headbanger shows, like, and I've been in mosh pits before. I've done the whole thing. Like I've done all of it.
Got my ass kicked, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. And I'm like here for it though, because I'm like I try to be like I'm not a small human being, so I'm like trying to be like a tank. Sometimes when we get into the mosh pit, I was like I overcommitted. So,
Oh, dear.
but I don't even know how old I was. And we get up to the front, and I can't even. I'll have to phone my mom and ask her. But like, we get up to the front, and this guy's playing the drums, and I'm like amazed by him, and I'm like this small dimpled child, like super cute, and I get up close, and I'm like waving and getting all excited. I'm probably dancing, and he like finishes the set and hands me the drumsticks. And
Oh, nice.
Oh, hell yeah.
game
and
over.
my mom's like, of course.
Oh, yeah.
As a child, like you were just, this is just you in a nutshell. And, yeah, that, and I didn't know much. I've gone to 2 other festivals. So Memphis in May, I absolutely love.
Oh.
Yeah, I just love, like, they have hip hop, EDM, blues, like they have everything there. That's like one of my, and they have different stages on the riverfront. Memphis is closed.
We have to go this next year.
Yeah, we should.
Yes.
It's in May. Well, obviously Memphis in May. But woo!
It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day.
Those tiki bitters.
No.
It's
So Matt,
it's the chocolate.
Matt, what's your favorite concert experience?
All right, so being a big electronic guy as I am,
Okay.
Prodigy, way back in the 90s, their album Fat of the Land.
Way back in the day.
Way back in the day, I got
I've been 84 years.
So, here in downtown, it was called the State Theater. It's
Yep.
now called the Fillmore. And Prodigy was in town. And my buddy Aaron and we actually got to go and see Prodigy because we were actually dating a couple of young ladies that got tickets for us, and we were having a good time. So we get to the concert, and we're actually on the mezzanine, right on the main bar, overlooking the stage.
Nice.
And
That's my spot.
yeah, that's always the spot. But right above you, you can actually touch the ceiling just by putting your hand up. And that's where the second level is. So when Prodigy came out with Firestarter, the entire building started to shake, and we can actually see the second level bounce
God.
and down.
What? No.
Oh, yeah.
It was the place was just out of control rocking. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
The one concert that I had been to that I was the most scared at because of the testosterone level that increased was at Cobo Hall.
Testosterone.
The testosterone's already kicked in.
Yeah.
Was Rage Against the Machine.
Oh yeah.
And,
that is on my list. That is on my top of my list.
walking down the stairs to go backstage, we never made it backstage because everyone rushed the main floor, and that's when they came out and the place just exploded. And I was afraid for my life. I'm fighting just to get up the stairs to get out of the damn building. So, yeah.
It was chaos. We used to DJ a alternative rock club here in the city, and when that album came out, and we play that, and the bouncers would be like, "You guys, give us a break, man. Just nothing after the play something slow after this because we're dying out here." People were just nuts for that when it came out. It was frantic.
It was Breathe and Smack My Bitch Up. Those were the two bigger songs.
And the bouncers was coming to the guys. Come on. We're short a guy tonight. Keep it. Because the club we did, they would let the guys mosh on the floor, and it's just it was great.
It was all good. What about yours, Jamie?
I got two, and now I got three that you mentioned the bouncy floor because it was 9 Inch Nails was opening for Peter Murphy. Because it was like they played. It was the second time they were in town. The first time they played St. Andrews Hall by themselves. The Shelter, Eminem, right? The main floor is St. Andrews Hall.
3 floors of fun.
That's it. Yep. And so they did that. The second show they did was opening for Peter Murphy at this place called the Latin Quarter, which is now a parking lot. It's gone.
It is.
But it was an old building, and the place was just sad. It was just crazy. The balcony was just bouncing. It was scary as hell. But that's why the bouncy floor thing was that when 9 Inch Nails hit this stage. But so the first Lollapalooza, I went to the first Lollapalooza tour.
The mudslinging one?
And that's where all those shenanigans kind of started.
Yeah.
It wasn't planned. It wasn't a thing. It just kind of happened.
Right.
And it was kind of funny and kind of interesting. And then subsequent Lollapaloozas, they tried to outdo it.
Yeah.
And it became this shit show that you guys were talking
That's
about.
like Bare Naked Lady shows with Macaroni.
Not good.
But the first one was great. It was amazing, I mean, it was a shit show, but it was controlled, I guess. I don't know. The fires on the hill were controlled, I guess. I don't know.
We could sit here in Kapitz for an hour and a half to plus 4 days around.
No, but I got another one. So that's one. And my other show to end all shows was it's boring to most people. The guy's name is Christy Moore. He's an Irish troubadour singer. His music, it's one of his songs is listed as a poem in Norton's anthology of poetry, Irish poetry. He's got included about 10 years ago. They included his song. Yeah.
I like I
and
love
the
Christy
song
Moore,
that they picked, and here's the thing, the song that they picked to put in there of his as a poem is a song called Lisdoonvarna. Varna. And Lisdoonvarna is a city in Ireland. And every summer, there's a big music festival in Lisdoonvarna. And he wrote a song, and the song is all about the people. And it mentions it in name drops like me, and name drops like a son of a bitch through it. But it's just all about the festival. So I was in Ireland. And we were there for 2 weeks with my family, and nobody else in my family gives a crap about it except my sister. And so he was playing in Lisdoon, and I'm like, really? Seal, we're going.
Yeah.
So she and I got tickets, and we left the family. We're like, all right, we were there with 12 people. Never traveled with 12 people. What the?
Okay.
And then you go into Ireland, and can we get a table for 12? And they're like, fuck you. No, and I'm like, fuck you people. Why are you asking for a table for 12? Can we all just sit someplace, please? So anyway, it was a nightmare. But my sister and I split, and so I got to see Christy Moore playing in Lisdoon, and he closed the show with Lisdoonvarna.
That's beautiful.
It's a moment. And then we hung out and got to say hi to him, took a picture with him, and he signed an autograph.
Amazing.
Oh yeah! Cheers! That's great.
Yeah.
Cheers.
He's like Bruce Springsteen, Woody Guthrie, Bob Dylan. All for America. He's like Woody Guthrie, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, all rolled into one. He's so important to music in Ireland. It was an honor to meet the cat. So, and then hear him play Lisdoon, and it's in Norton's anthology. I'm an English teacher. Anyway, that's my highlight for me.
Thank you for sharing, everybody. I love that.
Yeah. Thanks for the overshare, Jamie. All right, more about me because this is really interesting.
No, it reminds me of I was in Scotland. It was the first time in Edinburgh. Do you guys know Iron and Wine?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was
Boy with the Coin, I believe, is one of their mainstreams, right?
Yes, and that was I actually have that on like record downstairs. That's the one I listen to, like one of my favorite to listen
Boy
to.
with the
But
Coin.
on vinyl. But yeah, no. So I loved them, and they were playing in Edinburgh when I was there, and it was like the first concert I went to by myself,
Ooh.
which is a whole ass experience. I encourage anyone, if they can, to go. I've even gone to festivals like by myself, which is a whole experience in itself. Like,
Right.
depending on the festival you go to, like people are usually so welcoming, unless it's very, I don't know if it depends on the music, but I went by myself and I met some people, but it was like they had like 10 people come out on stage and all playing different instruments for one of the last songs. I don't remember the song that they played, and I was just like, I haven't seen anything like this like ever before. It was absolutely incredible. Because whenever you see like Abby's dog
Can you hear
is
that? My dog is screaming.
Abby's dog
On
is
the bed
screaming.
next to us. She's just like growling and barking.
She's chasing rabbits currently. But yeah, no, it was an awesome experience, and I highly encourage anyone. Like, if you want to go to a show, you should go by yourself.
You can really reflect,
Yeah.
and you can absorb it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not trying to entertain anybody. You're just there.
You're there
for
to
the
experience music, and that's what music is for.
Yeah.
I love that. We got to hang out again. We got to do because I love that talking about music. We can do more about music.
Oh, yeah.
Let's do music bourbons next time.
Yes, please.
Ooh, we should. Oh my God! Wait, we have a playlist.
Blackened.
We started pairing whiskeys with bourbon.
Yeah.
And we made a playlist for a whiskey. So we should start doing that more.
Or we could do Blackened, Metallica's or Heaven's Gate. Oh no, that's Heaven's Door.
That's
Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate. Bob Dylan is purple. You get it. Him and Prince went in on it
Is
together.
there anybody out there?
No, we'll have to do like a tasting of the evening, and we should pair songs with the tasting.
Yes.
We should revisit. We should revisit a. What was it?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. The next time we get together, we'll do music and bourbons, either band bourbons or just song bourbons that take us to a song. One of the two. We'll talk ahead of time and plan it slightly, as opposed to today. Don't drink that Heaven Gate purple one.
Yeah,
That's
don't drink
scary.
that one.
It sends you someplace else.
Yeah.
Ladies. It's like the end of the year for me. It's I was doing the show on bitters. I was kind of joking about it because at the end of the school year, it's like it's tough. I mean, it's been a rough year for educators. It's like not woe is me or anything because the kids have had it way worse than I have. It's for me. It's Groundhog's Day because September 1st, I'm like. It's like Sonny and Cher's on the radio. I'm hitting snooze. It's Groundhog's Day. I'm doing it all over again, right? I get another kick at the cat. These kids, it's over, it's done. So they've had much worse time than me. But it's been a very challenging year for everybody, everywhere.
Yeah.
Healthcare workers are still fighting a good fight.
Yes, they are.
Because somebody was on Facebook today. It's like, hey, my friend is still on a ventilator. Please pray for him. I'm like, Jiminy Crickets, man.
It's not over. We're still in the middle of all this. Yeah.
Far from over. But, it's been a rough year, and I was feeling a little bitter. And I need a little sunshine in my life. And I thank you guys for coming and hanging out, sharing a little sunshine with us because you guys are so much fun. Thank you.
Thank you for the
surprise. We're so happy to be here.
Thank you for the surprise. Yes.
And I wanted to give Matt a little surprise. I didn't tell him you guys were coming, and I know he loves talking to you. So.
So thanks for being here with us in the man cave. But we will talk music and bourbon all over again, and we'll have a great time with it. Fair?
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
All right. Yay. All right, ladies. Matt, cheers.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you so much.
Guys.